Alright, before we start today's video, if this is the first time you're visiting my channel, I have a big giveaway going on right now. I'm giving away a Kuma reel and 4 other items. I'm gonna leave a link to the video where you can sign up in the description below. So pause this video, go check the giveaway video, sign up, and then come finish this video. So, what we have on the bench today is a Berkley MUDCAT spinning rod. Okay, this is a 2-piece, 8-foot, medium heavy, line 12 to 25 pounds, weight 1 to 4 ounces. Why do I think this new rod from Berkley is interesting? If you saw my review of the Ugly Stick Tiger White rod, you know I'm just fascinated with the action of this rod. This rod is just amazing. Everything about it is good, and the price of $75 is pretty good as well, in my opinion. The only problem with the Tiger White rods is that there aren't enough models available. This one here is the 7-foot 1-piece, and the other ones are even shorter. So what if you want similar action and similar quality and reliability but slightly longer rod? And maybe you want a 2-piece so you can fold it and put it in the trunk. And when I saw this new rod from Berkley, I thought, first of all, look at the color. And the description says it's glass construction. So I immediately thought, oh my god, finally an 8-foot Tiger White. But is the 8-foot MUDCAT really an 8-foot Tiger White? Well, you're gonna have to watch the video to find out. Starting with the handles, the only difference we see is that the MUDCAT rod is noticeably thicker than the Tiger White rod. Now this one here looks like a nice rubberized cork, but remember, this is the old version. The new version comes with the exact same handle like the one you see on the MUDCAT, which is, it's kind of soft, so I'm pretty sure it's EVA form. It's not cork or whatever, rubberized cork. So I think this is EVA foam covered with this, rubber heat shrink, which of all the handle types is my least favorite, but it is what it is. Let me add here that while thicker than the Tiger White, the handle is still reasonable in my opinion. I kind of dislike handles that are too thick, and this one definitely is not one of these, obnoxiously thick handles that just scream cheap, in my opinion. So neither rod has advantage in the handle as far as I'm concerned. Now when we get to the real seats, we see a significant difference, however. The Tiger White has this nice, I don't know what is this, polished gunmetal or brush nickel or whatever you want to call it, but at least it's certain that it's metal. And the MUDCAT rod, unfortunately, these are plastic nuts that hold the reel. And this is very strange to me because the whole rod is kind of thick and big and everything is oversized and it screams like heavy duty, but they put plastic nuts to hold the reel here. I don't know how much money they saved by using these plastic nuts here, but to me that was a tactical mistake on their side, because now they create a weak point in otherwise ridiculously strong rod. Now before I compare the blanks, and the Tiger White still has my boiler rig tied on, remember, the 8-foot MUDCAT is medium heavy and rated for 1 to 4 ounces. And the Tiger White is heavy and rated for 1 to 5 ounces. Now if you keep this in mind, you will find it very interesting that the MUDCAT has a much thicker blank, okay, despite being the lower rated in terms of power and load rod. That's because the MUDCAT has a glass only blank and this one has a little bit of carbon. And you know, if you have a blank that is only glass, it'll have to be thick, otherwise it'll be too wobbly. But it is what it is. The colors on the two rods very similar. I personally slightly prefer the color on the Tiger White, but I really like this natural color on the MUDCAT as well. And here are the guides on the two rods. The guides on the two rods could not be any more different. The Tiger White or Elite has what I call a normal spinning rod guide, you know, pretty large inner diameter, and you know, normal support on two sides of the guide. The guide on the MUDCAT has just a ridiculous support. The Tiger White guide is supported with 1, 2, 3, you know, normal thickness wires. And look at the support on the MUDCAT guide, okay? You have 1, 2, 3 support points on one side of the guide, and you have 1, 2, 3 support points on the other side of the guide. And instead of having a thin wire, well, I wouldn't call it thin, but you know, normal wire, this thing is not even wire, it's this white flat piece of metal. Okay, here's a question. Which of these two guides do you think is the better guide? This guide is definitely stronger and more durable, but also, and important here, heavier. The Tiger White guide, in my opinion, is strong enough and durable enough, but lighter. You can see all kinds of videos where people fight medium-sized shark with the Tiger White rods. So, you know, that's strong enough for me. So all of this extra strength built into this guide is, in my opinion, absolutely useless. Maybe if you fight a Goliath grouper with this rod, you can stress it enough so this extra strength here is useful. But to me, this is just absurdly overbuilt, and the only goal of the designer was to make a product that looks strong to the average catfish angler. Last point I want to make about the guides is that while the MUDCAT is an 8-foot rod, it has only 6 guides. Okay, the Tiger White is a 7-foot rod, but it has 7 guides. Hey, almost forgot, the tip of the MUDCAT rod is in this bright chartreuse color, which kind of makes sense because the name of the rod is MUDCAT, so I bet they target the average, you know, catfish angler down in the south that needs a little bit stronger blank for the big rivers and whatnot. So yeah, if you're into these bright tips, which I'm definitely not, it's got the high-vis tip. Oh, the tip is not fluorescent though. I checked. No, it is not fluorescent. Before I show you the action of this rod, I want to mention one more thing. You're gonna need this kind of size of reel to pair with this rod, okay? Nothing smaller. This is Okuma 6500. It's like, I don't know, 17, 18 ounce reel. I tried, you know, my smaller Daiwa 4000 reels that are like 15 ounces. And the rod is too tip heavy. The whole rod is heavy, but you're gonna need a reel that is pretty heavy to kind of balance it in your hand. Even with this huge reel, look, the rod is really tip heavy. You see this? Why? Because these guides that everybody loves as indestructible, they're very heavy. I don't know how much this thing weighs, maybe an ounce, maybe half an ounce. Look. Even the front guides, they're very heavy and they're in front of the reel, so when you grab the rod, it becomes tip heavy, so you're gonna need a good size reel. Okay, I'm gonna do the first test right away with one bottle because both of these blanks are pretty sturdy. So I'm trying to keep them as even as possible, and I don't know what you see from over there, but the Tiger White, this rod here, even though it is heavy power and rated for 1 to 5 ounces, is actually significantly softer rod than the medium heavy MUDCAT. So these medium heavy and heavy power ratings, they are not always comparable here. I don't know if I hope you can see it. I think the correct ratings would be medium heavy for the Tiger White and heavy power for the MUDCAT. This is how I would rate these two rods. Alright guys, here's the action with two bottles. As you can see, it's not really fast action, but it's not moderate action. It's not like completely parabolic like on the Tiger White rods. So, they describe it as moderate fast, and, I would agree with this label. And here is 4 bottles, just for kicks. Yep, moderate fast action. Overall, I like the action of this rod, given that it's an 8-footer. Okay, so would I recommend this rod? Unfortunately, as much as I wanted a Tiger White that's a little bit longer, this rod is not for me. It's a little bit too thick and too heavy and doesn't feel good in my hand with these huge guides up front. So who would I recommend this rod for? Well, if you're a catfish angler from the south where the fish is bigger, the current is stronger, and you just need a stronger blank, I actually think you should consider this rod because it's hard to beat for 40 bucks. The blank, I really like the action. It is strong, but it is not stiff. There is flex all the way to the first guide. The guides, like I said, are indestructible. If you are one of these guys that just tosses the rod in the bed of the pickup truck and they roll around, you're gonna appreciate the strength of these guides. Also, I forgot to mention, this connector here is very high quality, much better than my $40 ugly stick, not even comparable. Very good, very durable connection here. The handle is not my thing, but I know most people will actually appreciate the handle. So the only people will appreciate the high-vis tip as well. So the only kind of low point of the rod you're left with is these plastic washers or nuts here. But I see most people secure the reel with their own, tie wraps anyway. And between you and me, how many of these have you seen break? Well, that's all I have to say about this rod. If you are considering buying this rod and this review helped you, please leave me a thumbs up. Go check my giveaway again in the description below. And I will see you with my next review.